Sitting out here, I was looking at the stars. You can't really see it, but there's like a distant light out there moving. Fairly sure it's a planet. Planets orbit. Even if you think that the Earth is flat, you have to understand that planets, relatively speaking, do move in the sky compared to you on the ground. And if they do it in some sort of synchronized unit, then it's an orbit around a central point. That's just math and stuff. But um, I was just thinking about, what would you do if you could live in a world with powers? You have to train your powers, or they're not gonna get that good. They're always gonna surprise you, and they're always gonna have you get your way. They're always gonna help you out in a pinch. They're always gonna help you when you need them, or at least expect them to. That's how everyone's powers, and talents and abilities work in general. But if you're not working on it, if it's just languishing, like I can actually honestly imagine people being reborn in the Avatar world and then like not giving a fuck and then letting it just like atrophy and die and then not even caring that it atrophied and died. Like think about the fact that energy bending was supposed to turn off your bending. That means that it's also a form of giving you bending. So it's like the Avatar is here to judge the world and see whether or not people are ready to get their bending turned back on. And then in the Legend of Korra, you see that the world is ready to get their bending turned back on. But they were on the verge of losing it. They had that huge genocide the world had to recover from. But I feel like when the world is allowed to heal, things get better. Just like, the world grows back. It grows back into itself. Happiness returns, peace returns and stuff. Because it's like we want to hurt the world for some reason. We have this like dark outlook on our role in society, our dark outlook on our role in the universe. Like, why can't we just be serene, peaceful monkeys? Why the hell are we at war at all? War should always be a last resort on both sides. There's no way to justify genocide. It's like we're the Fire Nation, and it's like every country has ambitions to be the Fire Nation. It's like the world is not only is it not in balance, but it's like every nation's the Fire Nation. And then when you look at actual world politics, it's like shit. All the nations that say they're good guys are not good guys. In fact, every nation with a name is probably a bad guy. What the fuck is a nation? What the fuck is a name? But yeah, I mean, if you give yourself powers, you gotta train at it because they're gonna come when you least expect them, and you gotta be able to train them. And it's like, I believe at the very least I can tell that people have powers. So it's like, that's something you could work on in any context. If you're the Sokka of the world, if you know that science is real, but it's still a magical world, you still need to be using that science, as a magical device and stuff. He could tell when it was about to rain, but he's a warrior in a world without electricity. So, he didn't have clocks, he didn't have watches and shit. So they had to like feel when it was about to rain, or they had to be able to smell it, look at the sky, feel the air pressure, just like feel like events are about to change. Because their rite of passage was literally like piloting in like rocky shores and stuff. Like when you're about to land, when you're about to invade, when you're about to find a new home, when you're about to travel the seas as a warrior race. I love Sokka. I love his whole. The whole idea of Avatar was that was a world where you would like to be either a normal person or have bending. You could be both. If you were spiritual, you were more likely to get bending and stuff. Or if you were more in touch with your like personality and stuff, you were more likely to be a bender in your race and stuff. But at the same time, people were badass as a normal people. They had basically magic. Sokka's grandmaster knew that the Avatar was there, and he was blind at one point. He was fighting blind. He's like, I think I'm a little old to be fighting this generation's Avatar. I was training in the world without Avatar. The period of the world without an Avatar is an age of darkness. That's what it means for like Vaatu to win. There's no Avatar. He was locked away for 100 years. The mankind's sins had grew too high, and that was their karmic retribution. And they prayed, and he wasn't there. He wasn't there. Earthbenders were doing messed up shit. They traumatized kids. Man, all those poor. I love the Avatar kids. All those poor kids. They were traumatized. And war is bad. You gotta practice your bending. Ah, shit.